Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Florida Gator fan in Akimbo Zapguns, and I am going to be going through the Florida Gator men's football team 2022 schedule, and I'm going to be predicting each game, maybe not down to the score, just wins and losses here, just a preseason. We're a couple days away from the season starting, so I figured this would be a great time to do this. We're going to kick it off with week 1 in a couple of days, Saturday in the Swamp. Utah versus Florida at Gainesville. The Swamp's going to be absolutely rocking. The number 7 team in the country is coming to town for the Gators here in a big-time opportunity to get a big-time opening statement win to kick off the Billy Napier era in style. However, with that said, I am realistic. I obviously am a Florida fan, so I'm going to have a little bit of bias, but the spread, I believe, was 2.5. Utah was favored, so we are a home dog to Utah. And I think Utah wins, unfortunately, for the Florida Gators here. So let's get this big old dirty L for the Gators in week 1. That is just my personal opinion. I just don't see us getting that big booming victory to kick off the Billy Napier era. It's going to be a competitive game in my opinion, but I think Utah is just going to be too good and pulls away late. Let's move on to week 2. We have SEC opening play here. Kentucky rolls into Gainesville. Now this, Kentucky is going to be without Chris Rodriguez. I have a lot of respect for Mark Stoops. That he has made Kentucky very competitive. Ended the good old streak a couple years ago against the Gators, and at our own house, by the way. But I think Kentucky has actually had a lot of off-season hype this year. I don't think they're going to live up to it. I think they're going to come into Gainesville. We're going to be coming off of the loss to Utah, and we're going to kick off SEC play against Kentucky here. We're going to get a top 25 victory here for the Gators against Kentucky. Moving on to week 3, September 17th. Night game at the Swamp here. South Florida rolls into town. I'm not going to spend too much time onto this. This should be an easy victory for the Florida Gators. Now, week 4, this is going to be an interesting game at Tennessee. I'm not 100% certain. I do not know much about the Tennessee football team this year. But Florida owns Tennessee in football. So it's at Tennessee, so it's going to be a close, competitive game. We're going to be feeling good with a top 25 victory against Kentucky, following up with probably a massive dub against South Florida. We're going to roll into Tennessee, and to quote Will Muschamp, I love seeing people coming in here getting disappointed. I love it. So chalk it up. You heard it here first. Another dub for the Florida Gators over Tennessee, because we own them. Week 5, Game 5, Week 5. Now, again, not going to spend a lot of time here on this. Eastern Washington rolls into town. Should be an easy victory for the Florida Gators to start the season 4-1. As we continue on into SEC play, week 6 here, Missouri rolls into Gainesville. A lot of home games here this first half of the season I'm seeing. Again, I'm not 100% certain. I do not know much about Missouri as compared to Kentucky and Utah. But going on historic trends, Missouri is historically been on the bottom side of the conference, and it is at Florida. I'm going to give the Gators another big-time W to finish up the first half of the season 5-1. Now, LSU then rolls into town here for the Gators. in week 7, I believe. And this game could go either way. When LSU rolls into that town, anything can happen. Shoes can be thrown. Field goals can be missed in super foggy conditions, and then LSU turns around, smacks like a 60-yarder in to ice the deal at Gainesville. I got some bad memories with LSU, but we also have some great memories where we rolled into Death Valley and stopped what's his name? I can't even remember off the top of my head. It stopped him at like the 1-yard line to secure the SEC East championship in the last week of the season. That was with Jim McElwain. So always competitive games here with LSU. I'm gonna give the Gators a home field advantage win. I feel like we're just gonna hold home turf. It's a rival game. Always going to be close. It's going to be Florida eking out a win, maybe even on another last-second field goal. As we roll into the world's largest outdoor cocktail party at Jacksonville, coming off of the bye week. So this would be week 9, if I'm not mistaken. Florida, Georgia. I really hope we win this game, just from the fan perspective. But Georgia and Kirby Smart, what he has done at Georgia is absolutely insane. He has built a juggernaut that is going to last a lot longer than Alabama after Nick Saban bounces out, whenever that may be. Like I said, from a fan perspective, I hope we pull a shocker. I hope we can get a win, but the realistic side, I think this is going to be a big dirty bird L for the Florida Gators, unfortunately. And it might not even be close. I'm going to have to see how the first half of the season predictions pan out, and then I may revisit this, and we'll see. With that said, we're moving on. At Texas A&M, Florida rolls into College Station, the preseason here, top 10 team. Who knows what they may be when we actually play? They may be higher, they may be lower, who knows? Jimbo Fisher has built a fantastic program down there. Florida always seems to be playing at Texas A&M. I feel like we just played at Texas A&M when we had Kyle Trask a couple years ago. I do not know why we are going there again. But unfortunately, as a fan, of course, I want us to win. It's going to be an insane environment. But I just don't see it happening this year. At Texas A&M, it's just give us a big dirty bird L for the Florida Gators. Now, we rock and roll back to Gainesville. South Carolina rolls into town. They're going to be better than what they were last year. But again, not a juggernaut of a program compared to Texas A&M, Georgia, hell, even Kentucky now. This should be I'm not going to say easy win, because conference games are never easy, but the Florida Gators should win this game against South Carolina. Then, November 19th, the Florida Gators roll into Nashville. Vanderbilt Commodores, historically been one of the worst teams in SEC football for as long as I can remember. I cannot remember the last time they have been relevant or even had a winning season. So, not much to be said about this game. I expect that trend to continue. Florida Gators, even in what is supposed to be a semi-rebuild year with Billy Napier, should easily get a dub against Vanderbilt. And now, we rock and roll into rival week, last game of the season against Florida State at Florida State, rocking and rolling into Tallahassee. Big time rival game here. This is going to be obviously a close contest. Florida State has been struggling the past couple years. I believe Florida has out-recruited Florida State this past year. Obviously, it's on the road. But I think, as a fan, and realistically, I think this should be a winnable game for the Florida Gators. I'm going to give us a nice big-time W at Florida State, cap off the year against our in-state rivals, and send them packing. And that brings us to a grand total of, I believe, 9-3. Yeah. 9-3 in Billy Napier's first year would be a phenomenal year in my opinion. And obviously, if we shock the world, like Utah, like it's at home, so I give us a shot, but I don't think we're going to pull it out in the end. But if we shock the world, that could be a 10-2 year. I just don't think we're going to be pulling shockers against Georgia or Texas A&M, barring any significant injury or just something just unpredictable, like Texas A&M just flops this year. Georgia's quarterback goes down, or something crazy happening. Like I said, I'm probably going to be revisiting this after the first half of the season to see how we're going, and I'm depending on how Florida has performed and how the other teams have been performing, I may make changes to the second half of the season. If you guys want to see a weekly recap, by week, to see if the prediction was right, I can do that as well. But we'll see. 9-3 in the first year wouldn't be so bad for the Florida Gators, and as a fan, I'm hoping that this is true because this would build a lot of momentum for the future of Billy Napier.